Hi, everyone. My name is Heidi Richards Mooney, and I'm founder and president of Redhead Marketing. And my company provides simple, results driven social media marketing training and consulting. In fact, it's one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it since 2001. I've spoken around the globe on various topics of social media, including in Egypt, where I spoke about leveraging social media both locally and globally, how to expand your business using social media. In Portugal, I spoke about leveraging LinkedIn for business and how to tweet smarter and time management tips for social media. In Amsterdam, I spoke about using social media to expand your impact and expand your business. And I've also done several webinars, seminars, conferences, and local business events, all on different topics of social media. Basically, the top four: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+. And you'll probably learn later on which one is my favorite, so I won't give that away. So today we're going to talk about the new rules of social media. I'm going to share some tips, some strategies, some tools and hacks for Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google+. So be sure and take lots of notes and enjoy the presentation.
So here we go with the new rules of social media marketing. The new rules of social media are how to expand your impact, expand your audience, grow your business, and your bottom line. In this session, we'll discuss what's new on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, how to apply the new rules of social media to grow your business, tools to help you better manage your time and effort on social media. Today's hashtag, for those of you who'd like to share this, is new SM Live. So we're going to get right into Facebook because I think that is the one that everybody wants to know a lot about, and we have a few new things I'd like to share with you on Facebook. And one of them is setting your Facebook fan page preferred audience. Now, if you've been using Facebook and you have a fan page, you probably didn't know this. And if you did, well, I'm really happy for you and glad, because then you're either learning this or someone's showing you the right way. But here's what you do to set the audience that you wish to have discover your Facebook page. You go to, let's go back. You go to settings, right up here in the corner, you'll see the word settings. And then you click on that. And then you go to audience optimization for posts. And make sure that this is turned on. Right now, you'll see it says turned off. You just click on it and it will automatically, you just click on edit and it will automatically turn it on. The next thing you want to do is you want to change your preferred page audience. And to do that, you just click right here where it says preferred page audience. Okay, so then when you do, this box will open up and you can choose the audience age, the gender, and the interests that you'd like. So for my page, for We Magazine for Women, we chose age 25 to 64. We chose women because primarily our audience is women. And then we added a variety of different search terms that people could find our audience. And we can refine this even more, but I'm just going to show you basically what we did for this demonstration. So we chose business success, home base, marketing. Let me go back there. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Social media marketing, etc. Now, when we had it, before we set the audience page, it said originally 5 billion was the estimated audience that we could attract. Well, you don't want to have 5 billion. In fact, right now it's estimated at 55 million, and I'd like to make that even smaller. And the reason is you want to make it so that you really are highly targeting the audience that you want. So once I started adding different terms, you can see here, now it's 1,562,500. I added a few terms and got 55 million and then went down to 1.5 million. So that's not bad. As I said, you want to type in the keywords that you would like to be found for in the Facebook search engines, and you would simply use those as your search terms for the audience you're looking for. So here's what it looks like when you finish that. So let me go back to that. So you do that and you click done, and then you go back to this page where it says preferred page audience. So I've selected my preferred page audience, and now I've added the interest, small business, search engine marketing, content marketing, etc., etc. I've put the age range of 25 to 64. I'll probably change that. In fact, I did change that to 35 to 69, simply because I think that that's pretty much who reads our magazine. So we want to really target it. And you can even make it 35 to 40 if you want. You can do whatever age range is the primary age range of your audience. If it's 18 to 25, gender, male, female, both. And then it'll give you an estimate of the preferred audience. So once I narrowed down these more, it went to 1.5 million, but it's estimated right now at 59 million. And it keeps changing every time you add a word. And you have to play around with the interest, because you can add words the words like search engine marketing or small business probably are going to give you a greater audience, because more people have that they're interested in. So you want to find keywords that not everybody has, so that you can make this estimate smaller. So I removed those terms to make the audience narrow the audience down for this particular demonstration. The next thing we want to talk about is Facebook Live. So Facebook Live video is the hottest thing right now. You know, there was Blab until just recently. Blab was online. There was Meerkat, also gone by the wayside. A lot of these live streaming sites are just gone now. Simply because they haven't figured out how to monetize the live stream. But of course, Facebook has the largest audience of social media users on the planet, so they can do pretty much anything they want. They have all the money too, so they can afford to do the Facebook Live, and they depend on people creating the Facebook Live videos on their platform, and then using things like ads to boost and boost posts to boost the viewers. And so that's how they are monetizing their Facebook Live videos right now. So let's go into Facebook Live. So if you're not using Facebook Live video, I want to just show you a couple of things you can do to make sure you get it on your phone. So here's a Facebook Live video that we created. Actually, this lady right here, Raquel, created this video for a live event we held back in September for our recent event called the Golden Mouse Awards. So she started the Facebook Live video and had people started filming the event. It was like maybe a 5-minute video. What was great is you can see how many views we had. 707 views. Now our Facebook page here has about 1,300. This is SWE Magazine. No, this is Women in E-Commerce. Has about 1,300 followers on it, or fans. So with that 1,300 fans, we had a 1,500 reach. And how did we do that? Because people shared it. 7 people shared it. So if these people were not already following our page, then they found out about that through the people who shared it. So that's how they got to had more people reached than we had followers. So you want to definitely do Facebook Live, because you want to reach as many people as you can. And then having 707 views is huge, because the average Facebook live video has a much smaller viewership, depending obviously on the person and how many people they have following. But typically it's less than 100. So 707 views is very good, and you want to encourage people to share it. So then let's go down. Here's what you do. So you get your mobile phone and you go to Facebook and you look for your page, and you find where you're going to do an update on your page on your mobile phone. It's going to say what's on your mind. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to start there. When you click on what's on your mind, you put your on your phone, you go click on what's on your mind, this page will pop up. And this is how you can do the Facebook Live. This pops up, and then you can choose Go Live. Once you choose Go Live, you're live. So you have to click on the what's on your mind on your phone when you find your timeline. You can also choose who you want to see this video. So if you want to send it to one person, some people want to send it to themselves and then choose their audience later, which is fine. You can share it with the public. You can share it with specific groups, with specific lists that you have on Facebook. So this doesn't target groups, etc. It will target the list. So if you had a group, say on Facebook, here's another little quick tip. Add them also to a list on your Facebook profile. That way, if you wanted to send to a specific group of people, you can do it by using lists on Facebook. So that was a third tip I wasn't planning on sharing, but it's always valuable to know the little workarounds for some of the things the way Facebook has their platform set up. So you click on Go Live right there, and then you can post to your fan page or your profile pages. It's very cool. But groups you can't post to, so you need to make sure that those groups are ended up in lists. So let's go. We've gone live, and let's see what's next. So let's talk a little bit about LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, definitely one of my favorite platforms. I love it. It's the best platform for B2B. And let's see what updates we have for LinkedIn currently going on. So you want to use something called the LinkedIn Connections Revealer app in Google Chrome to find influencers. Say you were looking to find out how many people were following someone. You know, on LinkedIn, it always shows 500 plus. It never shows the number of connections that you have. However, if you have the LinkedIn Connection Revealer, which you can download to Chrome, and it adds to your browser. And then this is not on your mobile phone, by the way. This is on your computer. And you simply add that to your Google Chrome. Then when you go to search on anybody's profile on LinkedIn, if they're a first degree connection, you'll be able to see how many connections they actually have. So here's Jody Cohen, who is the executive director for WRPBI TV in Palm Beach, Fort Pierce. So she's a first degree connection. When you go to her page, you only see 500, but when you have the LinkedIn Connection Revealer, then you can actually see the numbers she has. Now, why might this be important? Well, it might be important because you want to find true influencers. So, for instance, mine has over 10,000. So even though it says 500 plus, you wouldn't know that I had 10,000 unless you did a deep search on my page. If you were a first degree connection, you could see more. But if you were a first degree connection, you just wanted to do find a simple way to see how many people are connected to a particular person, this is how you would do it. So it's a really cool tool. I really like it, and it's a great way to find the top influencers in LinkedIn, the people that have the most followers and connections. So the next thing is you want to showcase your expertise on LinkedIn Pulse. So let's talk a little bit about that. LinkedIn Pulse is the blogging platform on LinkedIn. So basically, here's my profile, and I go to updates, and it shows how many posts I've done. So here is the writing for the reader, as you can see. That's one of my latest Pulse posts. Let me go back and just show you something else real quick so you can see where to find that. So hold on one second. So then when you click on post, it takes you, actually, sorry about that. Let me show you the profile. So you go to your profile, your home, then you go to profile and you click on that. And the drop down comes up, edit, who's viewed profile, and your updates. You want to click on your updates, and then this is going to show up. So it's going to show up this page, which is your updates, and it's going to show published. These are the posts or the blog posts, Pulse posts that I've published. It's called Pulse, but it's also a blog post. So you want to click on that, and then this is going to show up, and it's going to show how many have been published. So if you wanted to publish a post, this is where you could publish it. You can also post it on your home page, right on an update. Click there and it'll say to you want to write a post. I'll show you that in a moment. So here's your published post, and I want to show you just some different things with my published posts, a couple of things, so you'll understand the power of LinkedIn Pulse. So here is my, here are a couple of my articles that I've published, of the 87 now. One is this flyers, how to create them and use them. As you can see, most of my Pulse posts have between 100 and 200. Some are 300-400 viewers, but this one had 2,284, and this one had 3,644. And let me just show you why. When you make a Pulse post that's popular or that the LinkedIn search engines pick up on, they might feature you in a specific channel. So the channel that they featured this article in was social media. Let me go back to the other one. So they featured this in a different one, but they featured this one, which is my most popular post so far to date, 3,644 posts or blog posts. And that's really good. And you can see the 336 thumbs ups or likes and 34 comments. So that's huge. Most of mine get an average of between 1 and 5. Every once in a while you get some that don't have any comments. But most of mine get at least 1 to 5 comments on them. So again, we're going to go back to that. I'm just going to show you. So this is published in January of 2015. And in social media, this was featured, which is pretty big, because that means that not only did my audience potentially was able to see it because I shared it on LinkedIn and in groups and stuff, it was also featured in the LinkedIn Pulse channel called social media. So let me just show you what that looks like. So to search for the different articles on LinkedIn Pulse, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first way is to type in this URL, which is linkedin.com/pulse/discover. And if you type that into the actual search bar of your browser, not in LinkedIn, this will come up and it'll show a variety. It'll show influencers, it'll show a bunch of different things. And here are the topics that they have, the specific channels. So you can see social media has 14 million followers. Big Ideas and Innovation has almost 20 million. So these are the kind of things this is why you want to be featured in these social media channels. So you want to use the right keywords in your articles. Let me go back here and I'm going to show you. So I used social media in my title, I used it in my article, and I put it in all the tags when I created this article. So again, this is one way to find the channels on LinkedIn. Again, they don't make it really easy. Here's another way to find specific channels this will show you all the channels. If you go to pulse/discover, when you type in linkedin.com in your search engine, like Google, whatever you're using, if you're still using Internet Explorer or Bing, you would type in that. And then here's the other way. You go right to the LinkedIn search and you click on this little thing down here, and this drop down box comes up and you click on posts right here, and it'll show the ones that are recommended for you by LinkedIn. And you can see some of these and you can click on them and it'll show the individual posts, and then it shows some of the articles written in those individual posts. So it's a really cool tool to see what people are using and what's featured. And then I visit them and see what is being featured in the LinkedIn Pulse channels, the different channels that you're interested in, see why they're being featured and how you might be able to do the same with your articles. So the next thing I want to talk about is growing your leads, adding calls to actions on your LinkedIn Pulse post. So we've talked about the Pulse. We've talked about the importance of writing articles on LinkedIn Pulse. And let's talk about what to do. So here's one of my articles called 6 Practical Tips for Effective Headlines. And this was also featured in LinkedIn Tips. So a lot of my articles, about 30%, have been featured in different channels, and I've written 87. So you have to write a lot of articles to get featured, I think. Or you could write one and get lucky and just have a really great title. This happens to be a good title. People are searching for headlines, topics. And so if you write articles based upon what people are interested in, you're going to have a greater chance of being featured in the different channels. So again, back to the call to action. So I didn't start out doing this, but now every single one of my articles, at the end of the article, has a call to action. This actually has two. I don't recommend that, but I did this just to show you some different things. So my first call to action is about, if they want help with their social media, content writing, blog posts, press release, any kind of copywriting, because this article is about writing headlines. So you kind of want your call to action to be relevant to the topic you're writing about. So for instance, the resource I wanted people to check out is called Words That Sell, finding the right words or right words to get your point across, get your readers to take action, and get your info products noticed and, more importantly, sold. And they click on that, and it goes to a page on my website that they give me their name and URL. And remember what I said earlier? You want to grow your leads, adding calls to action on LinkedIn posts. So you can just give away things, just give them a straight link, which I've done a couple times. Since I don't want to always add a call to action where I'm asking someone for something. But occasionally, when you do, make it important enough that people are going to want to give you, or valuable enough that people are going to want to give you their email information. So that's basically about LinkedIn Pulse. Let's talk about the Connected app, which you just saw there. So the Connected app is available on for iPhones on iTunes, and for Android on Google Play. And Connected app is a really cool app, and here's what it does. It displays news such as when a contact changes jobs or celebrates an anniversary. You can send them a message right from your smartphone, or you can like an update that they wrote, and you can message them privately. You can browse new potential connections and add them to your network. You can send invites to connect with by tapping the connect button, which is really cool, because instead of reaching out to them, and maybe you know them, but you don't know if they know you don't have their email, etc. This is a great way to quickly connect with people. Just be careful you're not connecting with people that would say, oh, they're spammers. You want to make sure that who you're connecting with is always somebody that you feel you would benefit from being connected with, as well as them. It needs to be a two-way street. You don't want to build your connections like some people do just so that you can send them your stuff, because spam is one friend of mine said spam is defined as some piece about me. So that's spam. So if you don't want to send some piece about you, you want to, or me, meaning you, you want to make sure that you're connecting with them, that there's going to be value on both sides of the connection. So next we're going to talk about what you're going to soon learn is my favorite social media platform, and that's Twitter. So here's Twitter. I just love Twitter. And let me just see why it's not going to the next slide. Okay, here we go. So you want to find influencers on Twitter using Tweetdeck. We're going to go a little bit backwards. I'm going to show you how to find some influencers first. So here's a tool that has been around a long time called tweetdeck.twitter.com. And that's a really cool tool for finding influencers. Say you're just starting out on Twitter, or you haven't really spent a lot of time on Twitter, but you really want to reach the right people. You want to reach the people that you're going to learn from, that they might learn from, that they might help promote you, etc. So the influencers are really an important component. So you download, and let me go back there, tweetdeck.twitter.com. You don't even have to download it. You just go to that URL in your browser, and this is what shows up. It will ask to connect you to authorize the app because it's considered an app like all of them are on Twitter. And I authorized it, and here's the activity for my homepage for Heidi Richards. Here's my notifications. You know, on Twitter you have to go and click on each of these separate, but this shows all of them at once, at a glance, which makes it really cool because now instead of going on to Twitter, if you never wanted to go on Twitter again, you could use Tweetdeck, which a lot of people do. I don't. I use it for a couple of reasons, but not every day. I like to click on the different links at the top of my Twitter profile. But this is a really cool way to see what's in your timeline, your notifications, etc. And basically what you do is you go to this, you want to see, here's how you want to, here's what I mean about influencers. Let me go back a minute. Okay, so I'm on Twitter. I have 30,000 followers. Here we go. 30,243 at the time of this screenshot. And I had no idea how many lists I was on. I was keeping track, but I didn't keep track since I've been on Twitter since, I don't know, 2007, I believe. So I decided to see if I could find a tool that would help me see how many lists I was on. So I found out that Tweetdeck did that. When you download Tweetdeck and you go to your profile, so I'm going over here to home. I'm going to actually go to my profile on Tweetdeck, and it's going to take me to this. This is what it looks like. Very cool. So I could click on any of these. I could see how many likes I've done. I could see if I have any collections. I can look at my own lists. I can see how many mentions I've received and a little bit more detail about my users. But really all I wanted to find out was how many lists I was on. So here's a little formula for your lists. So first of all, let me show you how you would look up somebody. Neil Schaefer happens to have over 100,000 followers. So I wanted to just see how many lists he was on. So I typed in his name to see how many lists he was on, which will give you an idea of what this will do. It's very cool. So as I said, I typed in Neil Schaefer, and you can see right here this little icon means that he's verified his account, okay? So I clicked on his name because it came up, and there's a lot of other Neil Schaefers. This is the one I want. And then I see this is what shows up. Here is his profile, or his profile on LinkedIn, and it shows this. And here you can see he's got 163,000 followers. He's only following 65,000. I happen to be somebody he's following, so I'm really excited about that. He's just a terrific guy, and he does a lot of social media, internet marketing type of things, similar to what I do. I do follow a lot of people who do something similar than I do, and that's another little tip. But here's how many lists he's on. So here's how you figure out if they're influencers. If someone had 163,000 followers and was only listed on 10 lists, that means nobody's really paying attention to them. But being listed on 11,000 lists, or in my case, I showed you before, I'm on 1,266 lists with 30,000. The way to tell is you divide the 1,266, the smaller number, the listed number, by the greater number, by 30,000, and you get a percentage under 100. And so if it's anywhere in the 3%, 4% or higher, mine's 4.5% of my followers is the number of lists I'm on, or was when I did this screenshot, then that means I'm an influencer. Okay? If I was only on 126 lists, that means I'd have less than 4% of 4%, or 1% of 4%. Oh, you do the math, I'm not even sure. So the main thing is that if you want to find how many people are listed in other people's lists, you would go to Tweetdeck www.twitter.com in your search browser. You would authorize the app and you could look for anybody you wanted. If someone had 1 million followers, like a celebrity, you could look and see how many, like Lady Gaga, how many people she's listed on, etc. So that's a great way to find influencers. But what I like this for is I want lists to find influencers in the genre that I'm in, because if they're influencers, if they're listed on a lot of lists, and by the way, he's on one of my lists, and that's another little tip. When you put people on lists, oftentimes that will get them to notice you. Not always, but it does work. If you have good quality content, a lot of times they'll start tweeting your information and sharing it. Every week, Neil shares at least one of my articles, and I don't even reciprocate as often as I should. Once in a while I do when I think about it. But he's always sharing my articles, so he must consider them newsworthy to be sharing with his followers. So let's talk about another tool called the missing letter. It's missing LETT_R. And here's what it looks like on the search engines. It's called missing letter LETTR.com. And let me just show you what this thing does. If you want to create multiple tweets from a single blog post and you don't want to go to your blog and do it, here's what it will do for you. It'll automate your blogs. So here's what missing letter looks like. This is the home page of the website. It does have a free trial. It's very inexpensive, by the way. I believe it's $3 per social media link that you want or site. So let's add our first site. So I wanted to add my RSS feed for my Redhead Marketing Inc. website, because that's where I blog the most. So, and you can add more sites, but each site you add, remember, is going to be $3. So it's going to only follow my Redhead Marketing currently. All right, so I added the first site. Basically, you just go here, you click on Start My Free Trial, and it'll take you to this page. Okay, so you add your first site, and then it's going to give information about, it's going to give you the thank you and tell you thanks, and then it's going to ask you to add your social profiles. So I added Twitter, basically. That was the only one I added right now. Again, it costs money for each social profile that you add. So if you only add one to each, so like say you had 5 blogs, you have 5 blogs and you had 5 social profiles, that would be 25. So it can be expensive, but here's what it does. It makes it so worthwhile. The first one is free. Yay. So here it is. Your social marketing campaign is ready. So it took information from, at the time I did this, my latest article, Building Your Permission-Based Email List, and it created a series of posts to add to Twitter. So here it said, just published a new article, should you buy or build a list for email marketing? Then it gives the short link, and it actually even includes the hashtags for you. So you don't even have to do that. And you can see this was done on October 18th. And it gives you a series of these, and you can approve them or not. Each time, each article, each posts that they do, it will approve, and it gives you, I believe, 5 to 7 a day. So I would approve the ones, and you can even go in here and edit them. All right, so here was 2 that it did for me. I didn't thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm going to click approve, and it will approve the article for me. So that's a really cool, easy tool to use on Twitter. And you can play around with it. You can see all your different blog posts, and each time you do a new blog post, a new one of these comes up. So it's really cool. I would just experiment before I would spend the money. That's all I'm saying. And then if you really like it and it's working for you, you go in and approve, and it automatically posts them for you over time. So you don't have to sit there and figure out what's the right thing to do. And if you didn't want to actually approve them, you could at least get some suggestions, and then you could post them at your own time. And what I love about it too is it actually will put the image up for you. So let's talk about hacking the Twitter character count. That's another thing that we, with 140 characters, people are always trying to figure out ways to get around it. The first way was that they created those URL shorteners that helped people to shorten the URL so that they wouldn't have to spend all their characters on all these long URLs that we sometimes create with these long titles of our articles. So hacking the Twitter character count. Well, one thing I love now that Twitter has done is that they've made it a little easier, because you can actually add a picture and it doesn't get counted in your character count. So that's one way. So for instance, I posted this tweet, and then I added the picture. It was 137 characters without the picture, and I added the picture, and it was still 137 characters. Before, if you only had three characters left and you did that, so basically it's a very simple thing to do. That's one way. Here's another really cool way. Whoops, let's see what happened there. Twitter character count. All right, that's weird. Okay, so here's another easy way to hack the Twitter character count that people don't often think of. So you write this tweet, which is the one you saw that I wrote above for Cassie. Okay, then I wanted to add something to it, but obviously there wasn't enough room, and this was to promote the Golden Mouse Award. So then I simply commented on my own tweet. Now, this is something I've seen a lot of experts do, and I've recently started doing it. I've noticed that the click-throughs have gone up considerably. So experiment, practice, see how you can do that. It also helps bring it back in the search and up in other people's tweet streams. So for instance, they see this particular tweet, and then maybe you wait a couple of minutes or a minute or so, or maybe only 10 seconds. Then you comment on your own tweet, and it shows back up on their timeline. Now, I wouldn't overdo it. I'd only do it once. I wouldn't comment over and over again. But at least if they missed it the first time, they've got another chance of seeing that same tweet. So this is not only hacking the character count, but it gets that tweet a little bit more visibility. All right, so let's talk about another great social media site that I think that people are that are totally being underutilized, and that's Google+. And the reason I say that is that people have discounted Google+. People say, they're just not seeing a lot of activity. And of course, Google+ has a lot of tech people on it. So for me, Google+ is fabulous. But I also see a lot of my local friends on Google+. So if I want to reach out to the local market, Google Plus is where I'm going to hang out a lot more, because the people that seem to be following me are a lot more of the local, and I follow them back. And then the ones I don't want to follow, of course, I delete. But Google Plus, the main reason you want to be on Google Plus is because who owns it? Google, the #1 search engine in the world. Well, Facebook thinks they're #1. It's kind of a tie between the two of them. But right now, let's just say Google is #1. So between Google and Facebook, you got to be on both of them. So here's what happens. Let's talk about Google Plus pages for business. Okay, they're now managed through Google My Business, which makes it easier for customers to find and connect with your company. So you want to type in simply in the search engines, just type in Google My Business. It's a long URL. I didn't want to share it. I figured you could just find it much easier. Okay. This has since been verified since I did this screenshot, the Women in E-commerce. So you see where it says verified? You want to make sure that first of all, once you've added your information, it's going to send you a postcard verifying that the information and the location are correct. And once it does, then you're going to see this little icon that says, or this little word that says published. And that means that everybody can now find it. So the reason you want to be in Google My Business is because then it shows up in the search engines as a as a venue or location. So let me just show you what that looks like. I thought that was the next slide, so apparently they're out of order, so give me a second. So since I mentioned women in e-commerce, I just wanted to show you what I did. So I just typed in women in e-commerce in the search bar on Google+, on Google rather. I didn't type in the URL, I wanted to see what would come up. And when I typed in women in e-commerce, it came up second here, which would show the domain name, so you can see, oh gosh. So you can see it shows the domain name weeki.org right here. And then when I type in, and then it also shows over here, because it's listed in Google My Business, so this nice icon where it'll take you to the website, it'll give you directions, it could take you to the Google Plus page. It's very cool. So this is why you want to be in Google Plus for Google My Business. You want to definitely have your page, your business page listed there. And that's real important. So then I also did a search for myself and for Cassie in Google. And what shows up is interesting, is my show on Google Plus, because you want to do some searches to see on where your Google Plus page is going to come up once you've created it. So then I did a search for myself, and I did my search for the name Cassie Eubank, and the Google Plus results for Cassie was in 8th position. You don't see her yet. I'll show you. I think that's the next page, and mine was in her own Google Plus page came up on page 2 in the results. But you'll notice that because she was on my show, my Google Plus page actually came up second in the search because I typed in her name. Okay, so here is when I type in my name, the first thing that comes up is my website. The second thing, or actually the third thing, I think the first thing that came up was HeidiRichards.com, which is also my site. Redhead Marketing came up, and then my Google Plus page, then my Women in E-commerce page, then my About Me, and then my another one. So 3rd and 7th position on page 1 for just typing in the name Heidi Richards Mooney. So that's why it's valuable, because when you type in your own name, you want to show up. And you see, obviously, Google Plus gives heavy weight to people who are listed on their website. But you can't just be listed. You've got to actually participate, at least posting things once in a while on there and sharing content, as well as maybe making sure that your profile is maxed out. When we get into more detail at the end of this program, I'm going to talk to you about ways that you can do that with your own channels and how we can help you. So here's why Google Plus is important. It's still a key part of organic search rankings and brand visibility. When they did studies of the search and result pages, the ranking factors continue to highlight the influence of Google Plus, My Business signals, and of course Google Plus for organic results, as you can see when I showed you. So it really pays to be in Google Plus and optimize it for your target audience. So here's a couple of other things, a couple of tools I want to share with you. One is called Friends Plus Me. You can see that up here, Friends Plus Me. It's really a great site, because what happens is if you wanted to share something, you download it as an app onto your browser, and then every time you get to a page that you might want to share, that little icon shows up on the page, and if you want to share the page, you simply click on it and you can share it. So it's a really easy way to share content through social media, including your own, especially when you go to a site that doesn't have the social sharing buttons. All right, so then another one, and see how it shows? It cross-promotes your publicly published Google Plus posts to all your connected social media accounts, which is very cool. So that's another reason you want it. It's $3 a month per connected social account. So what happens is when you post something on Google Plus, It's just there on Google Plus. But if you wanted to use Google Plus as your main hub for content other than maybe your blog, you can post it onto all of the other social channels, and you pay $3 a month per connected social account. So this is a workaround from tools like Hootsuite and Buffer, which charge you a flat fee. And I would not say to do this instead, but you could experiment with it. So say you were connected on, you had LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Plus, and Facebook. So you're already on Google Plus posting things, so you're only going to pay for Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. So that's $9 a month. So every time you post content, you could share it with this Friends Plus Me. So that's another really cool shortcut tool. So it's no secret, and we all know this, that technology is changing at the speed of light. Keeping up with these changes is more than a challenge for business owners. It's downright difficult. And yet learning the latest tips, tricks, and hacks is vital to reap the most benefit from the time and effort invested in managing your social media channels. So I want to show you what I have to offer. And of course, for those of you who listened to this and saw the live training, you will get a copy of this PDF download, as well as the Easy Fan Page Generator and LinkedIn Profit System, if you didn't already get it. And if you'd like this and you're listening to this, you found us through the search engines or you were marketed to, if you send me an email at Heidi@redheadmarketinginc.com, I will send this all to you as well. So instead of giving me your card, just send me Heidi@redheadmarketinginc.com your information, and I will be happy to give this to you. So I want to show you a new program I have that just came out called Social Media Live. So the regular price is $197 or will be $197, but if you sign up today or anytime while this video is up here, you can get it for only $97. And basically you're going to get 6 live 60-minute webinars covering Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, Pinterest, and more. You're going to have access to the replays of those 5 classes. So if you liked what you heard today and all of the information you heard today, just kind of an overview, think of how much more information you're going to get when you actually sign up for this course. Plus, you're going to get 5 additional on-demand sessions. One's going to be on time management for social media. One's going to be all about content creation. One's going to be about tying in your email marketing with your social media. Another's going to be about building your tribe, how to, increase your connection so you have lots of followers if that's your goal, and at least the right followers, and other major hacks. And as well, we'll be sharing over $800 in additional tools and resources, including checklists, charts, ebooks, video programs, and more. So that's what you get when you sign up below for the new Social Media Live program. And here's how you'll save. If you have watched this through the entire thing, you're going to see that if you use code SAVE100, you'll get $100 off the Social Media Live program. So you'll get it for only $97. You'll get access to our free Facebook page, our private Facebook page, and more. So again, if you have any questions about anything I've talked about in this program, or you'd like to leave any comments, etc., feel free to shoot me an email at Heidi@redheadmarketinginc.com, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. If they're long and complicated, I will share with you articles and things that will answer your questions probably more fully. And that's it. And be sure and use the code SAVE100 and get the Social Media Live program for only $97. And good luck with everything you do with your social media programs. And I look forward to seeing you in our new Social Media Live program. Bye-bye.